Greetings and welcome to Alonzo Bash Podcast, Real People, Real Conversations. On this exciting episode, we sit down with award-winning singer, songwriter, and Saint Lucian Groovy Soca champion Mr. Teddyson John for an inspiring and candid conversation about music, culture, and perseverance. Teddyson reflects on his childhood growing up in Saint Lucia, the strong family values that shaped his journey, and his early experiences performing alongside his brothers in a family band. He shares how those formative years helped lay the foundation for a successful international music career built on authenticity, passion, and Caribbean pride. The Saint Lucian star also discusses his recent appearance at NPR's celebrated Tiny Desk concert series in Washington, D.C., where he performed with Kes The Band, giving listeners a behind-the-scenes look at the experience and what it meant to represent Caribbean music on such a prestigious platform. Teddyson further highlights a historic milestone in his career, becoming the first Saint Lucian artist to be nominated for and win an International Reggae and World Music Awards award. He reflects on the significance of the achievement for both himself and the people of Saint Lucia, while sharing his thoughts on the future of soca music and Caribbean culture on the global stage. This and much more in another powerful conversation filled with insight, inspiration, and real Caribbean stories. This and much more. Alonzo Bash Podcast starts now.
Greetings and welcome to Alonzo Bash Podcast. I'm your host, Alonzo Bash, and of course, today we're joined by another special one, international soca sensation, representing the beautiful island of Saint Lucia, a brand ambassador, singer, keyboardist, and songwriter. Without further ado, actually, I should answer this fresh from the tiny desk as well. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, sir.
Blessings. Thank you for having me.
Of course, man. Of course, man. Been a long time. I think the last time we spoke was when you came up with the acoustic album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man. It's been a while.
Yeah, man. Been a while, man. So how you been, man?
I've been great. I've been good. New things, working on stuff, alive and well.
Yeah.
So I've been good.
Nice. All right. So I first mentioned the Tiny Desk, experience. How was that for you? And I saw you on there with Kes and so forth. And
I guess it shocked a lot of people to actually see.
Yeah, that was nice, man. No, that was nice.
Thank you. Kes is brothers, and these are conversations that we've had,
Yeah.
long time in terms of dreams and wanting where the music can go,
Yes.
and wanting to be in that position to create the connection, And
Yeah.
Time Desk is not a place that anybody can go,
Yeah.
and that's what we've learned. So I think timing is everything. And when he called, he was like, bro, let's go get that connect. You go direct to the source because it's a tiny desk, but it's a worldwide, stage.
Big platform.
You understand the platform there? Words can't describe. The amount. I've been a fan for a long time, and you're talking over 44 million. Monthly subscribers. It's crazy that people get to see. So it's just one step closer. You understand? To getting to do our own. You understand?
Yeah.
But Kes just being able to give the opportunity was like, Teddy, come, let's do this. It's something that you always wanted to do. The entire band, rooting everybody cool. So when they know I was gonna be there, everybody was real,
Excited.
and stuff. Yeah, man. And get to share the stage with Terry as well, and just make sure, background vocals on point. Singing is our thing. So we make sure everything is on point. So the
Well-
opportunity, I was really grateful for that.
Yeah, man. I was happy to see you, man. When I saw the video, and I said, wait a minute, that's my boy Teddy in there. I was like, all right, nice.
And
And
I have my Saint Lucian flag, so I don't play.
yeah, for sure. For sure. You must represent, man. For sure.
Yeah, man.
And yeah, I really enjoyed that, man. I really enjoyed the fact that Kes really reached out and reached out and actually shared a major platform to yourself. And others, because of
Big up Rehad. Wanna big up Rehad, free and sharing his stage. He's never been afraid to share his stage, with me. And they were like, Teddy, you always show up. You always show up and you always deliver whenever. So whether it be opening on tour, you understand? Whether it be we about 2 years ago we had a 12 city tour and being able to do a 45 minutes with my entire band.
Yeah.
That was crazy. So he's never been that person to keep you away from, especially if he noticed You serious about what you want to do. So I'm cool with everybody,
Yeah.
not just him, but the entire band from sound guys to, just everybody. Each musician, we close, So it's just appreciate, I just appreciate, the friendship.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. All right. So let's talk about your background a little bit, man. So you're born in Castries, Saint Lucia.
Yeah, man.
Tell us a little bit about Lucia. Now, I haven't yet been there. I was actually supposed to go for your carnival coming up in July. But,
You never been to Saint Lucia?
bro, I think
That's
we're supposed to go to
disrespectful. That's
people.
disrespectful. That's disrespect. That, we have
Hmm.
to end the interview. We have to end the
Yeah,
interview.
yeah.
Nah.
Listen, I'm ashamed, man. Ashamed to say. Ashamed to say. Listen, it's in the works. It's in the works. It's in the works. It's in the works. Ashamed to say I haven't been to solution yet, but it's in the works. It's in the works. But
We have
for
to
folks
change
like
that.
me, huh?
We have to change that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure. So for folks like me, I have never been to Saint Lucia. Let's give us a synopsis of what is Saint Lucia like and what is Saint Lucian culture like. Someone reads Saint
Saint
Lucia.
Lucia,
What's the first thing I
Saint
should do when
Lucia
I
is
touch down?
inspiration.
Mm,
Saint Lucia is the people. Saint Lucia is the food.
yeah,
Saint Lucia is the laid back,
mm,
easy chill. You understand?
yeah.
It's uh, it's the world's number one honeymoon destination.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
Honeymoon destination, like
Mm,
for the 15th or 16th time. It's
yeah.
always been one that travel award. A lot of couples, a lot of people just come in when you just want to unplug. You want to come and chill and just relax, and it's just pretty easy. No excitement.
Yeah.
It's just real easy, and I think the people is what make other people come back. Is what you experience. Everything is pretty easy.
Yeah.
Nothing is not too hard. Everything is close. You go around, it's 238 square miles. You probably go around the island, probably in about an hour and a half or less than 2 hours.
Oh, yeah. That's more.
You understand? That's small. It ain't no, chigonas and
You see that trouble, man. You see, listen, we gonna
and
call
San
you.
Fernando go, and you have to meet me by, Westmoreland, and
Yeah.
then you have to use, if
Mm,
if you're going up north, you're going up north. If you're going down south, you're going down south. One road.
man, that's funny. Okay. All right. So I understand you grew up in a Christian home,
Yeah.
brothers as well. You guys at a young age put together a band.
Well, we didn't put a band together.
Yeah.
Like we ain't no Jackson 5,
Right. Right. Mm.
we would have probably been the John 3,
Okay. Fair enough.
but we got to play instruments. We don't know where we got it from in terms
Yeah.
of, the influence. It came natural
Okay.
and it came from the Most High.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we take that, but we were never like trained in music.
Mm.
If I wasn't singing, I would be a drummer.
Okay. Okay.
That's my first instrument. Like
Good.
I
Yeah.
would, hey, and a bad one too. Yeah,
Uh,
I have another brother that plays keyboards.
yes.
He works at a cruise ship.
Okay. Mm.
Where he's the band leader of his band.
Yeah.
Over there. I have
Mm.
another bass brother who is one of the world's best bass players.
Okay.
So on that side, he does jazz.
Mm.
So I grew up on that side too, with the French side of the jazz. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So from church to R&B to jazz, to soca, it's just a bunch of influences, that created me and what I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your mom and your dad. Tell me a little bit about your parents.
Well, my mom was heavy in church. My mom was a deaconess in church. My
Okay.
dad didn't really do the church thing.
Mm.
When mom was home, we're not allowed to play any secular music, but when she goes to town, we can play some Tupac and Biggie.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
My dad loved R&B. He was, into reggae as well,
mm,
but just the records.
yeah.
But mommy was the one where every morning we needed to have devotion, wake all of us up to pray,
Yeah.
and have morning devotion. So she believed in that kind of stuff.
Mm.
So this is where we got our, vibe from,
Yeah.
humility, you understand,
Mm.
humble, just know how to be, help people, that's we got these type of things.
Right.
never disrespectful to parents. Watch your tone when you're talking. We've never been that, you know, these type of people just because of how we were raised.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. What was it? Your schooling like? Elementary school, I guess, secondary school, stuff like that.
Secondary school, yes. I went to Ira Simmons Secondary School.
Yeah.
I went to Ira Simmons. I dropped out of school in the fifth, in like 2 weeks before going to sit like we call it CXC. Like we call it. Yeah. Dropped out of that, and I went to the principal, and I told her what I wanted to do and where I wanted to be.
Yeah.
What Christopher Columbus went and discovered have nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
told
Yeah.
her T multiplied by X multiplied by Y going into Z, Pythagoras theorem had nothing
Yeah.
to do with that. You know,
Mm.
what kind of clouds, cirrus clouds, on stratosphere had
Yeah.
nothing to do with that and what my passion was. So they really, there are students, that ain't got no hope, and there are other students that,
Wait,
you
that was
know,
you, man?
you understand? Well, the students that had no hope, it wasn't me because the teachers
Okay.
knew and they saw what I wanted to do.
Okay.
You know?
Because I'm
So
trying hard to throw this picture in, but go ahead.
yeah, I was just one of these that I told them what I wanted to do, and I
Mm.
went to do what I wanted to do,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm doing today. You
Nice.
understand? So it's just that for me. I mean, we did classes, we did different things, but you know, sometimes I didn't used to go to school and go in a studio instead and create and learn to
Yeah.
program, learn to you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
not everybody is on the academic side, you know
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
things. There are people that want to paint. There are contractors. There are people that
Mm.
want to do. You know, there are different
Great.
ways to do it. You
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah.
Especially now.
Yeah.
So that was just me. In school, but they could tell you that I used to be beating drums on the desk. I used
Mm.
to be singing in assembly. You
Mm.
understand? I used to do the Mr. and Mrs. Valentine show.
Oh, yeah.
They would tell you that.
All
So
right.
everybody who went to school with me
Yeah.
and taught teachers who taught me, they knew what I wanted to do.
Right.
And they
Right.
can tell you that I was gonna do what I wanted to do.
Mm. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Your first song was your first, I guess, recorded song was a gospel song.
Yeah.
Sweeter. How that came
Peter.
about?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was me being in church. There was
Mm.
a gospel artist that was an influence called John Pickey,
Okay.
Reverend John Pickey, and he
Yeah.
had a song called "Sweeter," and I wanted to take it. Well, these songs would never like release. It's just you
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wanted to take it and do like a version with it. So my
Hmm.
brother produced it and myself we got to produce it,
Okay.
and that was just my first song. I
Yeah.
always like to go to the studio to hear how I sounded,
Mm.
recorded, like how would vocals, how would backgrounds, how would, learning
Yeah.
different things in studio,
Yeah.
and that was the first one that I actually put out.
Okay. Fair enough. I read that you worked at Sanders Resort as
Yeah,
a
yeah,
entertainment manager.
that was a big part of my journey, hospitality.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I had years in hospital. I had about 15 years in hospitality.
Okay.
You know, so
Mm.
from Sandals Entertainment, like a playmaker, activity staff, into the entertainment supervisor,
Yes.
then going to working on the cruise ships. Vocals on
Okay.
the cruise ships,
Wow.
celebrity cruises.
Yeah.
And also coming back to Saint Lucia,
Mm.
working at Smuggler's Cove as the entertainment manager there and the
Wow.
water sports and activities manager. So
Mm.
I was into that kind of stuff, cabaret shows. So I
Mm.
come from hospitality because hospitality is a big part of what Saint Lucia is. It's
Yes.
our main bread,
Mm.
it's our mainstay, the
Yeah.
hospitality industry.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I came from that. So being in front of people, different stages, hosting,
Hmm.
it's easy for me to do.
Easy transition.
Yeah, easy.
Easy transition for you. So,
Yeah, man,
what
definitely.
was what was the first break in the soca space?
Well, in St. Lucia, when I decided not to go back on the cruise ship again, that in 2007,
Yes.
I was I always used to get pushed into it, like coaxed into it, because there was a drummer that was on the cruise ship with me called Penn. So there
Okay.
were these two guys that started, soca music, and wanted to come in as producers, and
Yeah.
that was Penn and Ace of Studio 758. They were
Okay.
the ones who got me into, soca. So I remember just going to his studio. His studio was in another room in his apartment, and they
Okay.
just wanted to be, yeah. And
Mm.
and I just I heard them playing something, and I got a pen and a paper, and I just started to write down something. So the first song was "Coming Down the Road."
Right.
That's the name of the song.
Mm.
I told him I didn't want to beat anything,
Yeah.
too shaken a break. I'm hearing the demo playing on the radio. You
Right.
understand? People pulling up the demo. So, like
All right. So the last thing you was talking about was let's see, the brothers that were the studio in the room.
yeah, that was Pen and Ace of Studio. It was supposed to be quiet. It was
Yes.
supposed to be no excitement,
Yeah.
but I ended up the song ended up on radio. People pulling up everywhere. I end up in a tent. You
Okay.
understand? And then I used to watch people like Ricky T, the Nicole Davids, the Nick Dan. That was bigger artists, then. And
Yeah.
I went
Yeah.
into I ended up in a competition, and
Okay.
then I won the competition, Saint Lucia first Groovy Monarch.
Nice. Nice. Nice.
And
Nice.
and from there, I couldn't. Everybody every year wanted to, hear stuff from me, so I couldn't stop. I just had to continue.
Have to continue. I
Yeah.
noticed some doing some research on yourself. Your music, the genres, like on Spotify and so forth, they have you genre Nigerian, R&B, Afro swing. Why is that?
Well, that's
You-
them. I have no clue. If you put it, sometimes it's soca in itself. It was
yes.
difficult to get it as an actual genre on Apple Music, yeah. Before.
Mm,
So back then it was a little, you understand?
yes.
So that's probably what it is. Sometimes you put a soca, they put you in dancehall or they put you in
Yes.
reggae. You
Yes.
understand? So unless we come to an agreement as to where it lands, and something proper, for the genre, we'll probably be having these things still. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 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 What's your take? I'm about to, since you mentioned that, what's your take on soca itself having its own genre, especially like with the
I
Grammys and so forth?
I think we talk about it, but we don't really want to,
Mm,
see it happen,
mm,
because the truth is we need the numbers for that to happen. We need the numbers to have a seat at the table. Caribbean, or I would say, okay, for instance, the lovers of soca in terms of buying units or buying albums, or you
mm.
understand, or really streaming, it's difficult. The numbers are low. You
Yeah.
understand? Reggae winning Grammys. You know what I mean? So if reggae winning Grammys, soca's supposed to be there, but we're not, because we would pay, and I've said that in other interviews for real. We would pay $3,000 for a costume,
Yeah.
right?
Mm,
But we wouldn't pay $9.99 for somebody's album. We
yeah.
wouldn't pay $9.99 for my album, or voice, or Michael Tasia, or
Yeah.
Kes. You understand what I mean? It
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
the numbers don't add up, and we need these numbers, to show as a collective what we can do.
Yeah.
So unless the mentality or unless everybody's mentality is changed and really really supports, we go out
Yeah.
to the shows, yeah, we bring in the numbers in the shows and we do that,
Yeah.
but where the Grammys and stuff is concerned, to be able to penetrate that, it can't happen if only one person. It need to be a collective, you know
Yeah.
of the
Mm,
entire Caribbean,
yeah. Yeah.
doing that and really putting it together and sorting it out.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense though. Makes a whole lot of sense.
So that's my
Wow. That's your
yeah.
take. Yeah. Yeah. I noticed the Nigerian Entertainment Award. You were nominated for that as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was, and I'm not too sure with what song it was. Is it Irama? Was it
I think
Irama Awards?
no, not Arama. Arama's in Florida, isn't it? I think
There's another one. Yeah,
you were the International Reggae and World Music Awards.
yeah.
That was in 2016 for
Got that. I think in
Alien.
2016.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Mm,
yeah. I got that. I got that there. again, the song was touching all different angles, you know. It had
Yes.
all different influences in it. You understand? So it
Yeah.
was a blessing to be able to do that.
Yeah. 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 Nice. All right. So in 2019, talking about awards, you got the International Soca Awards for Vent, the Groovy Soca of the Year. I want to talk
Yeah.
about I want to talk about Trinidad. Do you remember the first time you went to Trinidad as an artist?
My goodness. I chickened out of Trinidad a lot
Serious?
because it was just like, yeah.
Mhm.
Before, a lot of people used to tell me to come over,
Right.
you know, but Trinidad is a place that you know you have to come good, you know.
Yeah.
You understand? I was able to, yeah, you got to bring your A game, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And I think I went to Trinidad at the appointed time. You
Mm,
understand? I went to
yeah.
Trinidad at the appointed time, and I was able to build, you know, a fan base, you know, on the ground, their relationships with everybody, the fans, you know, producers, radio stations, just
Yeah.
everything. That took a while, but everybody got to know me in Trinidad or got introduced to me in Trinidad through Ali. That's in 2016. You
Right.
know,
Right.
they
I,
got
I
they
I
got to
know.
know me.
I know Trinidad. When you first got there, they didn't really know who you was. But wait now, you the man who sing that song?
Yes.
You know?
So we got that kind of vibe, you know, and
Yeah.
from there, from LA, it's been beautiful in terms of being able. I was able to to create a fan base and an audience where I was able to even have my own concert in
Ni-
Trinidad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Nice.
for me, it's been a journey, you know, and a
Mm,
journey of just learning along the way. There's a lot that I learned along the way, you know,
mm,
going there, and I'm always grateful that I'm able to be there and have a footprint there. That when I come, everybody know. You understand? Instead of St.
yeah.
John from the, you know, Saint Lucia.
Yeah.
So I appreciate everything that I learned there, and I appreciate being able to be there. That's like my second home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I go there whenever I do what I had to do. I drive over there. It's easy. It's like home.
Uh,
You know?
okay.
Yeah.
I remember seeing a clip, and I believe it was Soca Monarch, if I stand to be corrected. And
Yeah.
the Prime Minister of Saint Lucia was there. Am I correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And after the performance, it was very emotional between yourself and
Yeah, well,
the woman.
well, he's the former prime minister now, but
Yes.
at that time he was the prime minister,
Yes.
and I didn't know he was gonna be there, you know,
Ah.
and
Okay.
nobody, he just, you understand? I think some people from my team knew. I think he
Yeah.
told them, "Ain't tell me nothing," you know,
Yeah.
and he showed up. You understand? It
Mm.
it was a proud moment for Saint Lucia
Yes.
because Lucia never, like, St. Lucia was able to place, you know,
Mm.
we
Yeah.
placed second in an
Mm.
international soca monarch, you know,
Yes.
and that was huge. You understand? So being able to place there, it was very emotional for me because I felt like the entire St. Lucia was on, you know, my
Yeah.
back,
Sure.
like I carried, you understand, well,
Mhm.
and we respected well, you know, that year, you know, it was just crazy. Everybody was just into it. Was Vent at that year with Palais, you know,
Yeah.
the whole vibe. Everybody was just amazing, you know. So being it, I was overwhelmed, and seeing him there, you
Yeah.
know, it it it,
Yeah.
it made me, you understand?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, a lot of people made a lot. There was a lot of write ups and stuff about it on the blogs, you know,
Yeah.
with the support of when he came, you know. But we were small in number, but we
Yeah.
did what we had, you know.
Yeah.
We did
Yes.
what we had.
Yeah. That was major, man. That was a major moment because that is something you don't see in
Yeah,
the sport.
yeah.
You know.
And not that you have to understand too. We've been trying to knock on the door to Trinidad for years. You
Yeah.
understand? Even when Ricky T came up, because Ricky T was one of those that really bust opened the door with Pressure Boom, and that was power, you
Mhm.
know? And I wanted to be, you know, somebody to continue that. You understand? Like
Mm.
continue that vibe. But on
Yeah.
the groovy aspect of things, you know?
Mhm.
And
Yep.
I think Ricky went up for Soca Monarch, and I mean they had him down there probably 10 for 11th, you know, with a song as big as
Mhm.
Pressure Boom at the time, you
Yes.
know. So for us coming in the top three, you know,
Yeah.
second place with Saint
Mm.
Lucia, it
Yes.
felt like, wow, we really, really won this, you know, because, you know, that year the touring was extensive. You
Yeah.
understand? Everybody loved the song, and it's one of these songs that will just never, it will never die.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a classic.
Okay. I'm gonna put you in the hot seat. It just came to my mind. I don't really write down questions, but it just came to my mind. So I'm sure you saw the whole high speed it was
Yeah,
phenomenon in the
yeah.
Caribbean. What was your take on the whole high speed moment in the Caribbean?
I mean, it just I saw it and I was like, this is
Mm,
where it's at right now. The entire game is changing. Somebody can make millions in just doing, you understand? It's
right.
a different world right now. You
Mm,
understand? With technology and being able to show the rest of the world that, you
yeah.
understand? I
Mm,
was grateful for the opportunity that Saint Lucia was one of these,
yeah.
places. And every island showed out,
Yeah. Mm,
Caribbean showed out,
mm,
and showed up the different islands that he went to. You
yes.
understand? They gave a little taste of what the island, has
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
offer. It may not have been everything, but
Hmm.
he sure had a taste,
Yeah.
a sprinkle. And
Mm,
that's what the entire Caribbean is,
yes. Yes.
yeah. You understand?
Hmm.
Every island has
Unique.
a spice. Every island have a flavor. You
Hmm.
understand? So you're able to get that. It's like a one pot. It's like a kalaloo. You
Yes.
know?
Yes. 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 It's like
Kind
we
of vibe.
all the
Yeah.
same, but all be different. In so many different ways. The experience you get in
Huh?
solution. I say we all the same, but the experience you will get in Solution wouldn't be the same experience you will get in St. Vincent, or the same experience in.
Exactly. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's
Yeah,
nothing wrong with that. It's the same Caribbean vibe, and there's no separation and no competition. It's
yeah,
it's just the same vibes. You understand? It's the Caribbean, but we just have a different flavor. So
yeah,
when we have a different palette. You understand? So you
yeah,
can get something there. You can get something, a big buffet. That's how I
yeah.
look at it. So in my mind, every island showed up and showed out.
Yes, yes. You know what? I read something here, and I want you to elaborate on this if you may. It says in 2017, you became one of 12 solutions to be part of Her Majesty birthday honors. Received the
Yes.
honor of Most Excellent Order of the British Empire (MBE). Now
Yeah.
that sounds real major. So what exactly was that?
Not it I got an award from the queen of for music, what I do with music, the contribution,
Yeah.
with music. You
Hmm.
understand? So it's Teddyson John MBE, but it's
Okay.
just quiet and make
Mm,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah, so Teddy. But it
Yeah.
it felt good to be able to have that,
Yeah.
with music, you know, to the island.
Mm.
So they gave me an award, for that.
Yeah.
I feel very honored, to be able to have it, by my name.
Yeah, that's a good look, man. That's a good look. That's a great look. All right. So
Thank
this
you.
podcast is called 2000 Questions About Me. I'm not gonna ask you 2000 questions, obviously, but I'll ask you to pick a number from 1 to 2000, and the number that you pick will be the question that's asked out of the book.
1,000.
1000. All right, simple, man. I get a number waiting for me, man. 1000. All right, fair enough. Boom, 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 boom. 1000. All right, here we go. I just got it. 1000 and dude, I got speed in here, man. All right, 1000. All right. What is the meaning of life? What is the meaning of life for you?
To me,
Yeah.
the meaning of life to me is just being grateful for where you at, and what you have,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of people that wish they probably would be in the position, that you are in. So
Yeah.
sometimes, you have to just sit back and just relax and understand and just appreciate,
Yeah.
where you at. So for me, the meaning of life for me is just adopting an attitude of gratitude.
Yeah. 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 Well said, man. Well said. Well,
Yeah,
Mr.
man.
John, thanks for your time, and of course, thanks for your contribution to the arts and culture, man. You're one of those people, I call you like the sleeping giant. Your catalog is very extensive, and your contribution to the arts is speaks for itself. So, thanks for taking time out your busy schedule. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me and reaching out. And yeah, man, appreciate it.
All right, cool. One last thing, man. Where people can find your music and so forth and follow you and the platforms and things like that.
Everything is at Teddyson John. So
Okay.
you can get that on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, my YouTube page. We just released some new music there.
Nice,
Make sure you check it out. You understand? So everything is at Teddyson John.
nice, nice. All right, brother. Well, give thanks, man. Much appreciated. All right.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, then. Bless.
Blessed.
And that's a wrap on this episode of the Alonzo Bash podcast. Thank you for tuning in and rocking with us. If you enjoyed today's conversation, leave a comment and let us know your favorite episode so far. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to help the podcast grow. You can catch the Alonzo Bash podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and even on Amazon Alexa devices. Just ask Alexa to play the Alonzo Bash podcast. Until next time, stay inspired, stay connected, and as Alonzo would say, stay focused on your goals and dreams. See you on the next episode.